did you guys see the Big 12 schedule matrix today? Keanu Reeves had nothing to do with this, but then again, maybe he should have. There are a lot of Big 12 fans who are not happy with the scheduling matrix. But I can tell you, as somebody that watches Big 12 football on a weekly basis, I let out an audible, yeah, yes.
It's a Big 12!
Because I get BYU and Utah every single year. I get Arizona and Arizona State every single year. I get KU and K-State every single year. Now, are we getting Iowa State and KU every year? Well, we're getting it 3 out of the 4 years. And I don't, Farmageddon, bitches. Like, I totally get it.
Yeah.
But if you guys look at these schedules, man, I think they're pretty good. If you look at, here's Kansas. So you get, KU gets them in Lawrence in 24. You got to go to Ames in 25, right? And I agree. You really would like to see that game all 4 years. But I understand it's not there in 26, and then you're back in Lawrence in 27. You look at Utah, new member in the conference. We get BYU Utah every single year.
Damn right we do.
And we should get it every single year. I look at Texas Tech. I love the schedule for Texas Tech. Look at the home games for Texas Tech: ASU, Colorado, Baylor, Cincinnati, West Virginia. Those are 5 games that I would expect you to dominate at Jones. I'd expect you to win every single one of those, right? I look at your road schedule. You got some tough games on the road. There's not an easy road game there, but you better win your home games, right? I look at Colorado. Coach Prime, time to steal some diamonds. Like, I look at the home schedule. Look in 2024 at the home schedule for CU. Utah, Baylor, Oak State.
Ollie
Gordon.
Ollie Gordon.
Heisman.
Do you believe?
K-State and Cincinnati. It's a really good schedule. You look at the way that this conference will play out. Look at K-State's schedule. You have big home games. You have big road games. I think the Big 12 crushed this thing. I think they did a really good job. And if you look at the matrix across all 4 years, Jake, I think they did a really good job, and I don't know that we could have asked for more on these schedules.
Yeah, I mean, I think all you really want to ask for on a scheduling matrix like this is to make sure the rivalries are there every single year that you want, and making sure that, the schedules they flow well, they're balanced. Like, you get, the non-rivalry games, you make sure that you've got good matchups so that we stay interested. And I think they did that. And I think, the other detail here is that I love that they gave us a full rubric. But then I love that they have each brand's home and away schedules for all 4 years. I think it's brilliant. I think the Big 12 knows exactly what they're doing with this situation. They understand exactly how important it is to make sure that your schedules moving forward without Texas and Oklahoma are strong. And I know they've left Texas and Oklahoma behind already, and we're kind of past that point. But I still think that first year where you're not seeing those games in your conference anymore really matters. You want to make sure that you have as many rivalry games in there as you can. You want to make sure that as long as Deion Sanders is in the Big 12 conference, that he's playing as many big games as possible. Even if they're losing those games, it's good for business. So I really like what the Big 12 did here, and I really think they're set up to dominate in both football and basketball. Now, in football, does dominating mean college football playoff? I don't know. That's year to year. That's roster to roster. Who the hell knows, right? But what I do know is that you are in a strong position to move forward. And I think, as usual, Brett Yormark and company have stayed on brand and on message. They want to monetize basketball, and they want to make sure that football continues to go up and to the right. And if they do that, this conference will be successful. This conference will survive the next round of media negotiations.
That's right.
Because that's what this is. You guys realize that, right? That's what these scheduling matrix are all about if you're the conference. Hey, we need to make sure that we get as many big games in this thing as possible until this current TV situation expires, right? So the next 4 years, we want to make sure that Prime's got big games, that we've got Kansas and K-State, that we've got as many as we can get. And I think they've done a great job with that. And I think when they're making the schedule this time around, the ACC situation has to be in the back of your mind. Who knows what's going to happen with that over the course of these next 4 years?
Yeah.
Who the hell knows?
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, we need BYU and Utah every single year. And I
Yeah.
know that Farmageddon, I understand the Territorial Cup. Listen, I get it. BYU and Utah is one of the most important rivalries in all of college football. And if you've never experienced BYU and Utah, if you've never been a part of the Holy War, it is transformative in the state of Utah. It is absolutely a time in a 2-week period where families don't talk, where church is different, where church ball is different, where your neighborhood is different, where moms and dads, sons and daughters, brothers do not fraternize because it's BYU and Utah. It means that much. Nationally, it has always been a very important game. It has always drawn good numbers on television. I think we are just seeing the beginning of it. And I understand that there are big rivalries. Kansas, K-State. I understand that you want Farmageddon. I understand. But I think they got it right. I think the fact that KU and K-State are going to play is massive. That Arizona and Arizona State are going to play is massive. I think that you get Farmageddon 3 out of 4 years is massive. But there is no question in my mind. The most important rivalry in the Big 12 is BYU and Utah, and it ain't close. With Bedlam going away, with Texas leaving the conference, it ain't close. BYU and Utah is the most significant rivalry in the conference. And when you look at all the conjecture and the bloviating about, well, is Utah going to come in and dominate? I don't think anybody's coming in and dominating this conference. And we have a chance now to see BYU and Utah, Arizona and Arizona State, KU and Kansas, playing games on a conference championship level. Rivalries that are no longer hollow, rivalries that could without question, determine financial futures, recruiting, TV time slots. That's what college football is about, whether it's the cocktail party, Bedlam, whether it is the Red River rivalry, you name it, Michigan, Ohio State, it doesn't matter to me. The Civil War, the border war, I don't care. Rivalries have to be protected. And as as somebody who grew up in the 80s, watching games like Michigan and Notre Dame that are no longer played, it's disgusting to me that we really are in a period of time where we have a guy like Mike Gundy who's trying to sell to his fan base that Bedlam doesn't matter. It matters. And when we're in a time where TV ratings are king, it matters. The idea that we would not have BYU and Utah playing in the Big 12 matters to me. That we have it every single year is paramount. Will it go on for a decade? I certainly hope so. But I know I'm getting it for the next 4 years, and I could not be happier about that because that's what college football is all about.
Yeah, and I think having those rivalries is going to shape, the future of the conference. I mean, we all know, like, Utah fan knows what Witt said about the Big Ten.
Yes.
And I got multiple DMs. Oh, man, like, this scheduling rubric is only out, for the next 4 years. Does that mean that Utah is going to the dude? I don't know. But what I do know is that TV partners are for sure going to evaluate the magnitude from a TV audience perspective of games like BYU and Utah. And I love the mullet, but get the hell out of here with Bedlam doesn't matter. And it's not a big dude. I don't care respectfully about Iowa State 4 weeks ago. I don't care about that game. I want Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. I want the best rivalry that we can get on the biggest stage, which is exactly why the Big 12 championship game is at Jerry World and not at the home teams, the best record, whoever has the best record stadium. That's why, because it needs to be a big stage. So that's why I say, I think they've done a great job. I think they've hit the nail on the head. Is it unfortunate that the SEC picked up another iconic rivalry? Yeah, if you're the Big 12, yeah, that's a little unfortunate. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the Big 12 doesn't have a bright future, because they do.
Is the Big 12 trying to replace the Red River shootout? I don't think they are. You're never going to replace Oklahoma, Texas. You're not. It's
too special.
And I think they know that. And so I think when you have opportunities, I understand. Like, I was DMing with Calvin, who's a UCF fan.
Sure.
UCF fans are pissed. And I think they have an argument because they don't have critically important games on their schedule. I mean, you look at on the far right here at the top, the away games, ASU, and we're talking about Orlando to Tempe, Orlando to Fort Worth, Orlando to Ames, Orlando to Morgantown. I mean, those are trips, right? You look at 2025, Orlando to Provo, Orlando to West Texas, Orlando to Waco.
Yeah.
Orlando to Manhattan, Orlando to Cincinnati.
But what am I going to say? What am I going to say? Hey, UCF fan, I love you. I love the bounce house. I love Gus. I love JRP, right? I love your guys. I love the program. The reality of the situation is you're low on the totem pole, not because you're new in the conference. I mean, that's partially why, but that's not the main reason. Yeah. You're not nearly the biggest brand in the conference. The big boys have to eat. So I understand it's not ideal to fly from Orlando to Tempe, to fly from Orlando to Boulder, or wherever the hell you might have to go. But that's the reality you're faced with. So go out and win those games. Go out and be that team, that disruptor. Because I got news for you. UCF is a good team. They've been in a lot of games. Now, obviously, JRP getting hurt did not help their cause this year.
Yeah.
But they've been in games.
And again, I just look at the K-State schedule. Because you're looking at K-State, Iowa State, and yeah, it is in my mind a little frustrating that you're not seeing 2027 on the schedule. Like I again just point out, I think KU and Iowa State is turning into a great rivalry, but it's certainly not K-State, Iowa State.
No,
and I understand why fans are frustrated that you could not have Iowa State on that schedule in 2027. I don't think that means it's going away. I think it's not a premium rivalry like a BYU and Utah.
Yep.
I think it was without question. And one of the things I think you also have to remember is that you look at the Western arm now of the Big 12, they're going to play a lot more because it makes more sense financially. But you look at this BYU schedule, Utah should be on this schedule. I wish it had more meaning later in the season, but clearly it's going to be earlier in the season just based on these schedules. But I don't think you can say, hey, it's unfair that K-State and Iowa State are not on the schedule in 2027. I don't know if it's unfair. There certainly is there are always going to be people who are upset with the way schedules turn out. And I don't think that means that, Farmageddon in this case is insignificant. But to fan bases, it's never going to be insignificant. And I think Iowa State fans feel underserved by the Big 12. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I know we have a lot of that. I think Iowa State has earned that. And I think that Iowa State's had a tough go. I think they're having a remarkable season.
Agreed.
You lose some really valuable talent to the NFL, with Breece Hall and Brock Purdy. And I understand it. The issue is, I think you have to figure out how many people are going to watch TV when Iowa State's on. And I think certainly with what's going on in Iowa City, I think Iowa State's got a chance to beat football in Iowa for a moment. But that doesn't mean that you're going to get the schedule that you want. And I understand why it's frustrating that you're not going to get that game. And I am here to tell you I don't know that there's a good answer, because you can't tell me that the Big 12 just kind of said, nah, screw it, we're not going to play those two. I don't buy that for a second. Right. But if you look at K-State's schedule, I mean, it's a little frustrating that you couldn't take, and let me get the ticker off there. You look at K-State's schedule, obviously, you're at Iowa State in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess we could make the argument you could have swapped out Cincinnati or West Virginia. I don't know.
Yeah, I just think that look, I'm not here to bash Iowa State. They have had a good season. I think that you got to understand the politics of the TV conversation, though. I mean, again, regardless of if you've had a good season or not, it's just a fact that Iowa State is a smaller market. than other markets. And I know we've had this ongoing thing on the showroom about, hey, why do ratings matter so much? Should we as fans care about the ratings as much? Like, we've had that conversation. And unfortunately, when it comes to schedule making, I think that the conference, that is their top priority. And when I say that, what I mean is, hey, the BYU Utah rivalry or the couple others here, I do think are a bit bigger than that rivalry. I think that the conference has to take care of the conference because again, the lesson that was learned from the Pac-12 meltdown was, yeah, sure, most of the cause of the Pac-12 meltdown was just awful business acumen, but the reality of the situation is they couldn't save themselves. They dug a hole so deep that they couldn't climb back out of that thing. And so if you're Brett, your marketing company, and you're sitting in your office looking at these schedules, you're saying, okay, we need to make sure we got the biggest rivalries. We need to make sure that the travel flows well to maximize profits in the conference. And ultimately, we need to put the conference in a strong position for the next negotiation of the media rights. That's what they care about. So unfortunately for Iowa State, that means that, yeah, your rivalry is not going to come up for a year or two. You're not going to play it. That's what that means. And I understand that's upsetting, but unfortunately, that's what it means. Would you rather have the Big 12 burn to the ground, or would you rather have, yeah, we don't play our rivalry game as much, but the conference is incredibly healthy. We're competing for basketball championships, and we're trying to push a program forward to compete in the college football playoff. Like, you see what I'm getting at here, especially when you consider the teams that are now going to the Big Ten. Last night, we go over the college football playoff rankings. Oregon, Washington, you see who's up there. So if you're the Big 12, this scheduling stuff has to be nails, and you got to make sure you maximize your profit on the scheduling rubric. And unfortunately for Iowa State, that means there's going to be some sacrifices there.
Yeah, I just listen. I get it. There's a lot of people who want to make the argument that their school's valuable. And I think when we look at TV numbers, like I'm trying to find the Iowa State TV number. And I tried this afternoon. There's not a number where you're going to hang on to it and be like, holy cow, we draw a ton of viewers. That's never going to be your argument.
Right.
You're never going to be the 6 million, 7 million, 8 million, Georgia, Florida, 5.9 million. Like, that's not who you are. And so I think there's a lot of people who get frustrated by that. And I understand it. But, just looking at the numbers, it's awfully difficult to make the argument that when a West Virginia UCF game is drawing 400,000 views, that Iowa State's, I just don't think you're going to draw the number that a BYU Utah is going to draw.
Right.
And Iowa State fan today was on me about how Iowa State, has history in the conference. And it doesn't necessarily mean that Iowa State doesn't have value. Your history doesn't matter. It's what are you going to do for me in 2024, 5, 6, and 7? And who's going to turn on the TV to watch you? And BYU and Utah are at least 1 million viewers apiece when that game's on TV.
Facts.
And it's probably triple that. So I'm not ripping Iowa State at all. You're not going to satisfy all the people. Mike Smith, if I ever go to the Holy War game, I am bringing booze and hell raising with me. You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Do it.
Oklahoma State and Iowa State is a damn good series, but not a rivalry. It's not one where I'm like, man, you got to have that game every year. I think we need to be careful what games we classify as rivalries. There's one rivalry for Oklahoma State, and Mike Gundy's gone out of his way for over a year now to tell you it sucks and it doesn't matter. And now you want to tell me, and I'm not saying you're saying this, Jeremy, but you're really going to plug in Iowa State to replace Oklahoma?
Come on now.
Yeah, somehow that doesn't feel right. Sean Jenkins, K-State is unfortunate, but all we have to do is win and the rest will be fine. That's it. Completely
agree.
That's it.
Look at the respect that Missouri is getting in the college football playoff rankings. Again, that's a team that is never going to be talked about at the beginning of the year. You're not sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, Missouri is going out and competing for the champ." No.
Yeah, and Missouri's an interesting one because Kansas and Missouri used to be the game. That was a huge game. Missouri took off. That huge game went away. That you want to talk about a game that I miss. I miss KU Missouri. That was a game, no doubt. Spangler, as you can testify. Farmageddon is not a rivalry. I think it is. Is it a? I think it's a rivalry. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not. Jeremy Callahan, I've seen some brand money numbers stuff that showed Iowa State to be a way bigger brand than many people think. It is. That doesn't mean it's a huge brand.
Right.
That's all. Cyclone Steve, I'm just happy to be in the Big 12, and you guys will compete every year. You'll compete every single year. You're right, Jake. I get it.
Thank you.
Said nobody ever.
Holy cow.
AR, computer-generated schedule based on travel costs, guaranteed. I'm sure there's some of that, but you have to play the Territorial Cup every year. Arizona State, Arizona is a massive rivalry. You have to play Utah, BYU every year. I think you have to play KU, K-State every single year.
Yeah. And by the way, why wouldn't you? I mean, I know the travel in some of these cases may be a little heavy, but why would you not? I mean, You can't tell me you're not going to draw for that.
And see, I agree with Laura on this. As a Tech alum, after thinking about it, the only thing I wish is we played Arizona more. We play Arizona State 3 times. Well, I think this is one of the less compelling matchup boards that we have. If you look at just the away games, I mean, there's not a lot to be excited about there. I wanted TCU, Texas Tech a lot more. I wanted TCU and Texas Tech and Baylor a lot more. Right? Like I that can't be like I want Texas Tech and Baylor every year. And we're not getting it. I think it's 2025 we don't get it. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Texas Tech unfortunately, Texas Tech needs to find their way back a little bit here. It's been a rough year, no doubt. But
you didn't consider that when you were making the schedule.
Well, but the problem is we're sitting here saying we want Tech and Baylor, and both of those programs have been crap this year.
But why are we not getting Tech and TCU for you? We're getting them 3 out of 4 you. Like what happened in 2025? What happened? Arizona State, Utah, Houston. I mean, we're just plugging Houston in all of a sudden 3 out of 4 years, but we're not like. There's like Texas Tech's schedule. I think the home games are really good. If you're pew pew, throw the tortillas. Arizona State, I think Kenny's going to turn that program up. I truly believe that.
I knew today would be shitty.
You did, right? Arizona State, who doesn't want Prime in the house? Baylor, Cincinnati, and West Virginia. Right? BYU, Oak State, Kansas, UCF, 4 really good home games. Where's Baylor? Where's TCU? Right? Like that's the thing that stands out. Arizona and Arizona State come into Lubbock. Why? TCU, Houston, and West Virginia. Why? Why both in the same year? Utah, Baylor, K-State, Iowa State. So not a single year where you get Baylor and TCU. Like it's all 4 years. Like it drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a reason.
I'm sure there is.
And again, you guys, I understand making a schedule is really difficult. This is why, can you imagine this for 20, 24, 26 teams? Come on.
Hey, Pac 2 Mountain West, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It's really tough.
Yeah. Jeff
Woodworth, I want ASU West Virginia rivalry, but it can only be played in Morgantown. Yeah, I mean, makes total sense to me.
Yeah, perfect.
Kyle A, Baylor and Utah play next year as an out-of-conference game.
Excuse me, the nomenclature is non-con.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Smith, bring your own beer. There you go. Illuminerdsky says UC Cincinnati would have a few more wins if they had stability. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Assuming the same does not happen to incoming Pac teams, they should be much more successful their first year, where they're all far more talented. And outside of like Jed Fish has stability, Dion's got stability, Kyle's got stability. I mean, Kenny Dillingham is going to have to go a while here. He needs more talent.
Yes.
He needs more talent. Like, I mean, you've got Noah Fafita at Arizona. You've got Shador at Colorado. Kyle's got that defense.
You've got the
Utah.
pig farmer at Utah. Oh,
you need a quarterback at
My
Utah,
bad.
right? I mean, you need that.
Come on.
You absolutely got to have that, in my opinion, right? Like, I think that's critical. So the Todd father, what's the difference? Same thing. ISU, Iowa State, Texas Tech got to live with it too. Yeah, you do. That's why I said, like, not everybody can get what they want, but when there's easy matchups that make you money, Holy War, Territorial
You
Cup,
gotta do it.
you know, Kansas State, Kansas, you got to do it. You have to do it. AAR, Big 12 conference schedule is likely going to change 25, 26, 27. I think that's exactly right. Mike Smith, does anyone look forward to Arizona State rivalry game? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good game.
That is a big game in Arizona. Big game. And my feeling is if Jed Fish can keep moving in the right direction, when that game has balls and there's something on the line, dude, they're
Back 10.
the only and again, it's Tucson, it's hot as hell. Like Tucson, God bless you.
The Dirty T.
The Dirty T. Nobody wants to live there. It's hot all the time.
It really is.
You don't have water. Nobody goes to Arizona football games. But when Arizona State and Arizona have something on the line, those games are full. And it matters. Bryce Martin, text 25 schedule isn't great. The only rivalry they play is Oak State. That's what I was saying. Like, the big Lubbock. What's up, Lubbock? Iowa State's value is higher in basketball. Oh, I think that's certain. I would agree with that. Spangler says Texas Tech Oak State is a rivalry. You think?
I don't know. Does Gundy tell us it's a rivalry?
He makes me crazy with that.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
He makes me crazy with that.
I'm glad that they're out of the conference now. That way you don't have to complain anymore.
Yeah. Mike Smith, Arizona State is the dirty meth bowl. Oh, come on. Well, for Arizona's side, it is. I mean, the hot chicks on Mill Avenue in Tempe.
I'm a man.
WTF Crap says Arizona has been looking strong. Jed Fish has got it going in the Pac-2. 10. I think I like Jed a lot. I am super happy for him because he's worked hard
10.
to get to where he is. And I think Noah Fafita, isn't that how you want to find your quarterback? Next man up, and holy cow, look at what we found.
100%.
Like, we turned over a rock, there was a scorpion, and his name's Noah Fafita.
And by the way, he can throw frozen ropes all over the field.
Right.
Like, geez.
Yeah. I think this is exactly what you want, in my opinion. But, you know, Dakota Tubbs, Tempe isn't in Arizona. I have my sources. Yeah, it's in Pacific time. Arizona time. Your mom's house. Do you like beer? Do you like football? Why do you come to my house for some beer and some football? Exactly right. Exactly.
Yeah, I like
right.
football. I like football season and all the things that go with it.
James, who now is marketing his YouTube channel, apparently. I'd like to put Texas Tech versus Oak State as a rivalry. They have had a lot of good shootouts. It's not a rivalry.
See what he did there?
It's not.
It's Texas Tech shootouts.
Yeah, it's not. No.
Right.
No. When's parade? I think Texas Tech and Oak State uniforms and colors look good together. Thus, it's a rivalry.
No.
I love it. Boyd Lake. I lived in Mesa for 12 years. I would go back if I could, dude.
No,
you wouldn't.
Hell no. Where are you living now?
Dude,
where are you at? He's here, isn't he?
I think he's in Dallas.
Oh, you're a Texas guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I thought okay.
He's the SEO king of America.
Well, I know that.
Boyd, I did a nickel upstate in Arizona, and it is the worst 5-year stretch that I think I have ever experienced.
I need to go home.
It's hot. Oh, but Monty, it's a dry heat. Yeah. And it's hot.
Yeah.
It's a dry heat that's really freaking hot.
Yeah, let's step into the oven every day on the way to work.
Don't mean it's not hot. Well, what do you mean it's hot? It's 105 and it feels like it's 155. It's hot all the time.
Yeah, I'm good, dude.
And I know this is crazy. And oh God, here we go, liberal lefties. There's no flipping water in Arizona.
Bro, what are you talking about,
But
man?
dude, the groundwater, come on.
There's no groundwater.
What?
They don't have grass.
But the Colorado.
There's no water, dude. Well, other than that, it's a great place to live. Sure it is. Sure it is. Jeff Woodworth, fajita. I love fajitas.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Jeremy Callum, yep. OSU, ISU, more of one than, yeah. I mean, I actually think Oak State, Iowa State's a really good game. I would agree with that.
I don't think anyone's disputing that these are good games. I think we need to differentiate a good game from a must-have TV rivalry thing.
Yeah. I mean,
BYU Utah's must-have TV.
I think there are very few things that you're not going to pass on in life. And one of them is the Holy War. I think you're not going to pass on that. You're not going to pass on trydaytrading.com/Monty.
Obviously not.
$10 30-day trial membership and make yourself fat stacks of cash so that you can afford to pump water into Mesa, Arizona.
Look at my guy working over here, man.
You know,
I want credit. I want respect on my guy's name.
I want winners.
Yeah.
And that's what you get at trydaytrading.com. You guys stop complaining about it, man. I understand a lot of people have said, well, it's the first of the month I'm in. It's the first of the month. What's your excuse now? And I think we tend to do that as dudes and at ladies too. I know that we have an ever emerging group of young ladies on this show who aren't so young and may not be so old. But it's as humans, we make excuses. You can either live the life you've always dreamed of, or you can make an excuse to not do it today. Because it's $10 to get a 30-day trial membership at trydaytrading.com. It's $10. You spend $10 at Starbucks. You spend $10 in the dirty tea. I mean, you have $10. Go and get it today, guys. Don't wait. It's a $10 30-day trial membership. That $10 is a tax write-off for you. It goes to charity. They have a charity they give it to every month. That $10 is a tax write-off. They give you full access to their educational system at Tri-Day Trading. So you get a coach who works with you on the regular, communicates with you on the regular. They give you instant access to their softwares, their systems, their processes, so you can start trading right away. And you're going to be hooked because it's exciting. It is going to make your heart pump. And trust me when I say it's a blast. It is so much fun. The one thing I had no idea before Mrs. Monty started the course at trydaytrading.com, it's fun. It is a lot of fun. It's exhilarating. It is, if you're somebody that bets on sports, dude, trydaytrading.com is for you. If you're somebody that is tired of being poor, if you're somebody that's trying to figure out how to pay your bills, your rent, your mortgage, if you're the guy that's pissed off that, hey, they have a nicer car than we do, I want to go on vacation, I want to have more kids, I want to pay my bills, I want to get out of debt, trydaytrading.com/Monty to get your 30-day trial membership. You will not regret it. It's $10 to change the rest of your life. If I told you you can make $1,000 a day working for yourself from home 2 to 3 hours a day, maybe, would you do it? Yeah, of course you would do it. So do it today at trydaytrading.com/Monty. Mike Smith. Now Bobby Knight was a character that was the opposite of Dole. Yes, he was. Yeah, he absolutely was. I like taquitos. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. I love taquitos. Dakota Tubbs, the fajita seems like a massive NIL opportunity that I would be shocked if was not real. Dude, Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Taco Bell. Boyd Lake, it's the salt water. The aquifer from under Phoenix has plenty. It does. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's fine.
The aquifer under Phoenix.
Do you guys know what Lake Powell is? Do you guys understand what the Colorado River is? Like, it's wild. The fact that they are not allowing new housing in certain parts of Arizona now. I'm telling you, it is at a crisis level. It's one of the main reasons we left Arizona, because it's untenable. Gary Wolf, Phoenix area is more humid than most think it is because of all the agriculture in the valley, dude. It is a dust bowl and it is hot. All the time. The one thing
All
that
the
you can
time.
do there is you can drive fast because it's flat, straight, and the roads
Oh,
are
their
paved.
freeways are outstanding.
Amazing.
Blacktop, 5-lane wide freeway,
Oh, my
dude.
God. Absolutely. The Big Lubbock. I would rather play Iowa State at Jack Trice than in the Hilton. Okay. I would rather play Iowa State at Jack Trice than in the Hilton. Okay.
Okay.
Damn, Bobby Knight passed away. Did he really? Shut the fuck up. Bobby Knight passed away? Oh, no, dude. Oh, no, that's brutal. Bob Knight passed away. Oh, my God. This happened 7 minutes ago.
Damn.
Oh, that's brutal. I've had great interactions with Bob. He's a guy that damn. He was old. Let's be honest. He was much older than his age. But Bob was a guy that was always a straight shooter. When I worked for Jim Rome at Fox, went to NCAA tournaments, booked Bob Knight on a regular basis, talked to Bob Knight on a regular basis. When his books came out, like, he was just a good dude, unless you needed him to coach your basketball team. And then he was a rip-roaring terror. Like, I think Bob did a lot of things that he regrets. I think Bobby Knight had a temper problem. But man, if you just had some of the, I always talk about the conversations where I didn't have to say anything, but I learned everything. Bob Knight, it was Bob Knight, Coach Kane, I think Jim Boeheim at the coaches convention in Minneapolis. It's a long time ago. Just listening to them sit around the table and talk was amazing. Just like talking to Bob Knight, trying to get him on our show. Just standing there and talking about Jimmy. He called Jim Rome Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy knows I love him. Like Bob was that cat was. And he won at Indiana. He won at Indiana. Oh, man, bummer. Bob Knight passed away at the age of 83, according to his family. Born in 1940, dead in 2023. Bob Knight, one of the great characters, one of the great personalities.
Yes.
One of the great coaches of an era gone by. Charisma out the Yaz.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. Obviously, some controversy around Bob, but you knew his name. And I think that says more than anything or anyone could ever say.
Phil, thanks for the bump on that, OG. Gary, I day trade as a side gig. I love it. If you can learn trading, it'll help you pay dividends in the future, dude. My wife is
trading, man.
Dude, and it costs you nothing. That's the thing that's amazing. That 30-day trial membership ends, you can walk away. And you will learn more in that 30-day trial membership, but nobody walks away because you just see the potential for earnings. And I'm telling you, Gary, watching Mrs. Monty pick up on Forex trading as fast as she has, she impresses me every day. But just watching her pick up on that, it's so inspirational to me. Hey, shout out to Sam White.
Let's go, baby.
New member of the show. Sam White, appreciate you supporting us on the show. You guys hit the join button. Really appreciate that. Maury Alvarez says, come on, casuals, hit the like button. Yeah, we've had 7,000 viewers today, but only 186 likes. Please consider hooking that up. Sam White, join the members only content.
Let's
Sam,
go.
make sure that you DM Jake, SLC Jake. He'll put you into our members only Instagram chat group. It'll change your life. Hook it up, hit the join button for $1.99. You get all your comments highlighted and read. For $9.99, you get into our members only Instagram group where you get a lot of perks. Our merch line that is coming out, probably never. You're going to get first access to that on discount. We're really close to that, by the way. We're really close to some big stuff that we've been chasing for a long time. So, never been a better time to be an exclusive Monty Show member. On Instagram, you get into our members only group. Hook it up, hit the join button. It's only $10 a month. Barfing Chickens. What's up, Barfing Chickens? Good to see you. BYU versus Baylor, Utah, and BYU TCU are games I really want compared to anything else. Yeah, I think BYU and TCU is a great game every year.
Yes, it is.
Every year. 1939, no Texas or Oklahoma means no good games. It sucks that Bedlam's gone. It sucks. And I'm glad we're going to get the Red River rivalry, granted in the SEC, but I don't have skin in the game, so I love the fact we're going to see the game every year.
Yeah.